it's Julius. You've got the Rolling Green podcast, and this is the news for the week ending June 20th, 2025. Let's take a look at the headlines. Senate Republicans rejected, a new LEAF drops, VinFast adds dealership, and reports find speed bumps to adoption. Let's get into the news. Senate Republicans rejected. Senate Republicans are working to undo the stringent emission rules and electric vehicle incentives put into place by the EPA in 2024 under the Biden administration. On Friday, the Senate parliamentarian threw a spanner into their plans, ruling that Republicans could not roll back the rules with a simple majority vote and instead would require 60 votes of the Senate to rescind the laws currently in place. Earlier this week, Senate Republicans sought to repeal the $7,500 tax credit for electric vehicles and remove fines on automakers for not reaching corporate average fuel economy rules. The CAFE rules have been in place since 1975 when enacted during the Ford administration. In a previous ruling by the Senate parliamentarian, the Senate Republicans disregarded the decision set by the parliamentarian and went on to repeal EPA waivers allowing California to enforce stricter emissions rules than those imposed by the EPA, as well as a ban on the sale of gas-powered light-duty cars and trucks. A new LEAF drops. On Tuesday, Nissan lifted the covers off the fully revised Nissan LEAF. Since making its debut in 2009, Nissan has sold more than 700,000 globally. Now, 16 years later, a vastly improved LEAF arrives with a crossover shape, improved range and charging capabilities, and a fresh new interior with updated tech. The car features a tall yet narrow teardrop shape comprising of aero bits that direct air over and around the car to help Nissan net a 0.26 drag coefficient. The sleek design aids the new LEAF in attaining a Nissan-reported 300 miles of range. The new LEAF is based on the same chassis as the Nissan Ariya. 2 liquid-cooled battery packs will be available. A 52 kilowatt-hour battery connected to a motor capable of 175 horsepower and a 75 kilowatt pack mated to a motor churning out 215 horses. Some trim levels feature navigation-integrated active battery preconditioning. US models with the 75 kilowatt battery are estimated to see 303 miles of range and will recharge from 10 to 80% in, as Nissan quotes, as little as 35 minutes. Other notable features include a NACS port, availability of a vehicle-to-load adapter, and while vehicle-to-home is also built in, V2H will only be available in the European models. The new LEAF will be available later this year as a 2026 model. A new VinFast dealership. If you live in or around the San Diego area and are looking for an EV, then this next story is good news. This week, VinFast announced their first dealership partner in California, Sunroad Automotive Group, has opened the first VinFast dealership in San Diego, California. The new dealership offers sales and support for the full VinFast lineup. Paul Fillmore, general manager of VinFast San Diego, said of the new opening, "We believe in VinFast's strong potential to make a lasting impact in the North American market." Speaking on the new store, Mike Nolte, vice president of VinFast US, said, "Adding to our first dealership in California signifies VinFast's next strategic step in our business model transition and the development of our global dealership network. VinFast has a goal of operating authorized VinFast dealerships in all 50 states. They currently have 30 across 15 states. A spat of reports identify roadblocks to EV uptake. Initial costs cited. David Bunch, Shell's chief for mobility and convenience, recently said, "The single biggest barrier to entry is the cost of the vehicle. Range anxiety is still there, but it's diminishing." In a report commissioned by Shell, the key issue confronting buyers considering a new EV is not range, not public charging, nor road tripping. The biggest roadblock preventing new car owners from selecting an electric vehicle is price. The report calls out the average electric vehicle costs around 30% more than a comparable gas-powered car. The global survey of 15,000 drivers proved to offer a few other bits of information. One of these is how 31% of U.S. drivers say they would consider switching to an electric car. Another interesting bit of news is that 80% of U.S. electric vehicle owners report that the pace of charging had improved, and 71% of respondents found public charging offered value. Toyota clicks on more info. A recent survey commissioned by Toyota revealed the average new car buyer simply isn't as knowledgeable about the nuances of battery electric vehicles. This lack of knowledge and experience leads to uncertainty with questions like how long does it take to charge, what are the different charging types and networks, battery replacement costs, and etc. According to Ahmad Zahid, AI Design Engineering Manager, Toyota North America, says it all boils down to the potential buyer asking, is it worth me changing my lifestyle, changing my cost of ownership, and changing my experience with an automobile to move to an electrified vehicle? So to help resolve these questions, Toyota is aiming to prioritize education on BEVs as well as other electrified vehicle types to help alleviate any consumer concerns. Zahid says that charging is the largest area of confusion for potential battery electric shoppers, specifically around types of chargers, speed, connectors, and adapters. No information was provided about format or when the program will begin. Making the list. Cars.com answers the question, if I wanted to buy the most American-made car, what are my options? This year marks the 20th anniversary of the American-Made Index, and with it some history was made. While Tesla topped the list with all 4 of their models, for the first time ever, a new player made the list with quite literally the most American-made car. This automaker makes the list for the first time this year, and does so with a car built which, at 80%, uses the highest percentage of US Canadian parts. That company? Kia. The car, the EV6. The following 5 factors are considered when determining placement: location of final assembly, percentage of US and Canadian parts, country of origin for all available engines, countries of origin for all available transmissions, and US manufacturing workforce. Here are the Cars.com top 10. Coming in at 10, the Volkswagen ID4. Number 9, the Honda Passport. Number 8, the Honda Odyssey. Number 7, the Honda Ridgeline. Number 6, the Kia EV6. In 5th position comes the Jeep Gladiator. And in 4th, the Tesla Model X. Number 3, the Tesla Model S. Number 2, the Tesla Model Y. And the number 1 most American-made car on the list, the Tesla Model 3. That's the news this week. The Rolling Green podcast is published weekly-ish on greencargeek.com. You can subscribe to the Rolling Green podcast on Substack at Green Car Geek, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify.